Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to a brand new season of TT Masters League. The first round of the brand new season takes us to the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we get to see if a certain someone can try and defend their title they won last year. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box, as always, is the lovely, the fantastic, the 100% man of all last season. It's Mr. James Head. James, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really well, Kieran. Excited for the new season. How are you? I'm
very well indeed. And what we should talk about first and foremost, James, going into a new season is the calendar. What a lineup of tracks we have starting here in Bahrain, and it gets better and better as you make your way through the season.
It's going to be fantastic. Obviously, there are 11 rounds to this championship, and remember, the title cannot be won on the first race. So Bahrain is going to pose, I think, a really good test. We had Australia last season, Bahrain this season, so we alternate, of course, between the calendars. But we do have the driver lineup. We've got a few new faces, plenty of familiar names. Let's see how they get on out on track.
Yeah, and just to run through those names quickly with you, for Mercedes, it's going to be the defending title, the defending drivers' champion, I should say, in medium pilot. He's alongside Inferno Cookie in that Mercedes. In the Ferrari, Carlsberg joins up with Vesca. In the Red Bull, it's Coutinho and Twitch Lemon. I don't know why I said Le Mans there, but there we go. First mistake of the season. Let's get it out of the way now. In the McLaren, it's Killer Blue and M Short. In the Racing Point, it's Bianchi and Neo. In the Alfa Romeo, it is Josh and Chapalele. In the Renault, it's Venom and Simp. In the Haas, it's Legend and Imadi. In the Alfa Tauri, it's Perpetum and Rostro. And in the Williams, it's Recon and Nicholas. So quite a few new names there. There's a couple of names there that James and I are not familiar with, in the likes of Rostro and Nicholas. In most of those cases, though, we've come across these drivers before, James, so we know what they're capable of heading into this new season.
Yeah, we know what they're all about. We know their demeanour, I think, and we know how quick they are as well. And looking through that pairings, I think Josh and Chapalele, I think, are the one that stand out most for me as being one team that could be very consistent. They're both very consistent drivers on their day, and when it comes down to the crunch, they could be the early Constructors' champions. Remember, I predicted Carlsberg and Recon last season. Look how that went, because they finished second.
Not a bad prediction, James, but it wasn't quite on the money. But then again, that was a James Head prediction, so
exactly.
What were we to expect? But yes, absolutely, the calendar looks great. The driver lineups look great as well. After here in Bahrain, we head off to the Chinese Grand Prix, all the way through some classic and great tracks till we get to the end of the season at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So lots to talk about before we head through, and of course bring you the honours list, the first look at the honours list for TT Masters League. And as you can see, medium pilot with the Drivers' Championship, Perpetum and Josh go in there as the Constructors' champions. But yeah, obviously Josh and Perpetum this time around in different cars. So the winning combination, the winning pair of drivers have been split up, James.
They have been split up, and Perpetum obviously is going, of course, in the Alfa Tauri this season. So that's going to be interesting. He's alongside Rostro, who's a brand new driver coming into Division 1. And then you've got Josh, who teams up with Chapalele. Alfa Romeo weren't that great last season, if I recall. And TTML has been, I think, personified for bringing out the best in the drivers. And I honestly think the Alfa Romeo team are the strongest there in terms of the driver lineup. But watch out for the two new Division 2 drivers. I've had the absolute privilege of commentating on them both in Division 2. It's good to see them in Division 1. Not Killer Blue, Vesca and M Short. Now, really two really good drivers that are going to be in and around the top end of the field, I think. Watch out for M Short. Don't be surprised by the end of the season if he challenges medium pilot for the title.
Of course, we've got our man behind the scenes as well, and Mr. Tom Zaggers on control with what you're seeing on screen right now, in charge of the graphics and in charge of some of the stats as well behind the scenes. He puts a lot of hours in, so it's great to see that he's getting the recognition now that he's so richly deserves. And of course, if you want to follow anybody on Twitter, then you can do that down in the description below. Myself and James are there, Tom is there as well, and a link there should be there to take you to the merchandise store. So if you fancy picking up a brand new t-shirt with TT Masters League on it, if you fancy getting a decal for your new PS5 later down the line, it's only a month away, then you can do that there as well. I hear that white and blue is a very good combination. You didn't hear that from me. But heading into a brand new season, James, what goes through a driver's head? First race of the season, is there a sense of the reset button's been hit?
There is a sense of the reset button, but imagine this, the quick turnaround between the seasons, because normally in a Formula 1 season you wait months and months, you do pre-season tests and the likes. We don't have any of that here in TTML. I've got to commend all of the organisers and behind the scenes especially, or the team behind the scenes, to really committing a quick turnaround for into Season 2 here in Bahrain. It's only been, nearly a week, 10 days or so, since the last race, which was, of course, Division 5. That's Friday, which I commentated on. It's a really quick turnaround, and these guys have got to get into that mind frame. They've got to get into the mindset first and foremost. The title cannot be won here tonight. The race cannot be won on the first lap. That's what their mentality has got to be. But further ahead, as they go through the season, once they get into their rhythms, they're going to be quite quick. And just to pinpoint a couple of name changes actually within the driver lineup as well. Quicksilver, who you see in the Ferrari, he is in replace of Carlsbury here tonight, who can't make it. And I think Vaki is in place of either Legend or Imadi in the Haas. Both reserves here in Division 1.
So we're counting down now, as you can see, into, well, you can't see, but we are counting down into qualifying. Just a quick recap of the point system. Of course, we do have an alternate point scoring system with the winner scoring 30 points, second place with 25, third place with 20. That goes all the way down to 19th place, scoring that one lone point, and with 20th getting 0 points as well. 2 points up for grabs for pole position, and the fastest lap bonus point is available to all 20 drivers that start the race, so long as they get to the checkered flag. So I'm looking forward to starting this brand new season here in Bahrain, and I'm sure you are too. It's one of my favourite tracks to commentate at. Without a doubt, provides the action left, right and centre. So let's stop the waiting and let's get this brand new season underway. Well, here we are then, under the lights for the brand new season of TT Masters League Division 1, and we started here in Sakir at the Bahrain Grand Prix, a track that has delivered plenty of action left, right and centre, not only just in real life, but in TT Masters League as well. It's set to make some brand new history as we visit it for the first ever time, and of course, under the lights here has provided some spectacular action down the years in real life. As we take a look at the track, then 15 corners takes us around 5.4 kilometres of purpose-built track. 3 DRS zones, I should say, take us around the deserts of the Sakir, and you can see that elevation change in Sector 1 towards the end of Sector 3 as well. It's a very slight gradient. You don't realise it as you're driving up and down those last bits of straight, but they are there and they can contribute to that action. As we hear now in qualifying. Well, James, I have to say, 18 drivers already looking really, really solid here. But out of all of these then, who do you expect to be right up there trying to challenge for the first 2 points of the season?
For the first 2 points of the season, I've honestly got to put it on the line and say probably medium pilot, Recon, Bianchi, M Short. I think they're going to be up there. Neo was a very quick driver within qualifying as well. Schiaparelli, Vesca. The list can go on and on for pole position. There's quite a few drivers, I think, within a chance of getting this.
Well, Recon is the first driver out onto circuit in the Williams as he makes his way now up the hill towards turn 4. And of course, James, we've seen some plentiful action over the years, especially in real life Formula 1 back in 2014, where Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg gave us a spectacular race, the first race that was underneath the lights. And it's fair to say, ever since then, we've loved having the lights on here at Bahrain. We've loved racing in the night time.
Yeah, 2014 was classed as the duel in the desert between the two Mercedes drivers of Hamilton and Rosberg. Not sure if we'll get to the same duel in the desert hype that we're going to be into tonight, but you never know. Recon, just to come on for a personal note, he's really been performing this season, not this season because it's the first race, but in the last couple of seasons of both TTL and TTML, he was putting up a really good fight with Calsper last season for the most part, even though he was his teammate. Going to be fascinating, I think, with a team change, joining Nicholas Vett in at Williams. Going to be fascinating to think, and no pressure because they are the Constructors' champions.
Absolutely. We're going to ride on board with Recon then as we take you around a tour of the Sakhir circuit as we make our way now on towards the start-finish straight to start this flying lap, the speed trap just before the braking zone here. DRS is wide open as you try and build the revs in 8th gear. Watch out for your braking spot here. Recon brakes just before the 100-metre board, aiming for the apex there and doing a little bit of trail braking on entry as we make our way through turn 2 there. Very easy to spin up the rear tyres if you're not careful and if you're too greedy with that left-hand side curb running through turn 2. Up the hill now towards turn 4. Use that curb on the left-hand side. Put 2 wheels over that curb to make sure you open up turn 4 as much as you possibly can as we head now in towards sector 2, dropping down 2 gears in towards turn 6 to make sure the car gets turned in, and then we head down the hill in towards turn 8. Very tricky corner there. You're downhill on entry, so it's very easy to lock up the brakes. Speaking of locking up the brakes, turns 9 and then in towards that dreaded turn 10. You can see there, very easy to catch a break there as Recon finds his way around just on the exit of turn 10, and he now has to just jump out of the way to make sure he doesn't get in the way of other lap times out there. Just going to see if we can finish off the lap then. We are going to ride on board then with Mr. Simp as he now makes his way in through turn 11. Up the hill we go then towards turn 12. Flat out through here in qualifying on this low fuel as we now head our way in towards turn 13. Well in towards the third sector now, using all that curve on the left hand side to keep the steering wheel as straight as possible to make sure you build up the revs. You can see then the drivers will drift to the left hand side just before the braking zone in towards 14, carry the speed through 15, and here we go then towards that start finish line for a lap of the Sakhir circuit, and Mr. Simp sets a 125.3 as our first flying lap of the season. Quicksilver living up to his name at the moment with a 25.1 in the Ferrari, puts himself on provisional pole position. Ahmadi across the line in third place in the Haas as he's looking to try and build on the successful off-season that he had, as there's a Mercedes of Yaram coming back in towards the pit lane. The other Haas though, Vaki, heads his way towards the line, puts himself into fourth position. Shapalele though, 24.8 from the Alfa Romeo, and he puts himself now onto provisional pole position. Lots of lap times coming in thick and fast in this session. There was a McLaren that crossed the line. The lap time didn't count, either that or they're on a flying lap right now. Who is that coming around the final corner? It's going to be M Short, who obviously has been promoted from Division 2 and straight into provisional pole position. 24.6 there from M Short, and you were talking, James, about how he could make a difference this season, promoted from Division 2 and straight up there in and amongst the 24s, the mid-24s I should say.
Mid-24, that is going to take a lot of beating, I think, early on. M Short with a 24.6. His Division 2 championship bears no bounds at all because he is willing to prove that he is Division 1 pace. Caginio's just gone third as well, the 25th lap, but M Short, from watching him in Division 2, remember, he joined second race of the season, dominated in Vietnam by winning by 12 seconds. I'm not sure if we'll get that tonight with the competitive grid that is here, but M Short already making a good impression, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Coutinho, meanwhile, under the covers, 25-0 from the Red Bull driver, puts himself onto the second row of the grid. Just having a look at the mini-map here, because it is our best friend. It does become that as we make our way through. We've got Killer Blue, I believe, is on a flying lap. He now makes his way towards the line. DRS wide open. What can the McLaren do? Up to third place, 24.8 then from Killer Blue, his teammate. Only 2/10 up the road, so not a bad lap time whatsoever. Looking at more lap times coming in, then Medium Pilot comes across the line, and of course this is where he wants to try and defend that title in the Mercedes. We've got someone who's just joined into the session now. That'll bring us up to 19 as we've got the yellow flags.
Rostrell's been disqualified from the session for going the wrong way.
Oh dear. Now that would be, that's the AlphaTauri, and that's just that car coming into the pit lane. So Rostro, not a great debut for him, although it begs into question how bad was the infringement. Medium Pilot, meanwhile, has just gone purple through Sector 1 as he makes his way now down towards Turn 8. And we can see now riding on board with the reigning champion in car number 2. Of course, we haven't seen car number 2 in Formula 1 since Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren. And Medium Pilot is adorning it now. It's not often you see the number 2 on a car out here, so Medium Pilot doing his best to try and represent that number 2 clan as he makes his way now in towards turn 11. Up the hill now we go, in towards turn 12, flying through that right-hander here as you now make your way onto the approach of turn 13. He's absolutely flying out there, isn't he? Using all that curve on the left-hand side to open up the exit as much as possible, try and carry the speed through the exit. Now making his way towards turns 14 and 15. You go over a slight crest just as you enter in towards turn 14, and now making our way towards that start-finish line, steering all as straight as you possibly can. Medium Pilot 24.4, provisional pole position.
That's how to drive a lap around Bahrain. It's as simple as that.
It's a great lap time, isn't it? Killer Blue abandons his, I believe it was his in-lap anyway, but he's now into the pits and he's now demoted to 4th place thanks to Medium Pilot's latest effort out there. A couple of drivers coming out onto the track then. Yaram is going to be the leading force with just over 10 minutes to go. We have Medium Pilot on pole position as Yaram gets a little bit shaky there midway through turn 12, but managed to gather it up. He doesn't want to lose it and bin it on his outlap here. As we see now, he's on his way down towards the final couple of corners. Venom, meanwhile, does join the session in the Renault, but Yaram decides to abandon ship and head into the pit lane.
Yeah, looked like quite concerning actually coming through turn 12. I think he just is looking like he's running an unstable setup. You saw the car kick out coming through turn 12. That is the sign around here that you are running an unstable setup. So unfortunately for Yaram, he hasn't set a lap time. He will eventually set a lap time. Venom, by the way, is out on a set of medium compound of tyres. Believe he's on an outlap as opposed to a formal lap currently, because his counting him as a 155 through the middle sector.
We've got lots of support for Rostro in the chat as well. Apparently, he might have been having wheel issues, but that hasn't come from him directly. So we'll have to wait and see what the debrief on that one will be. Unfortunately, he'll be starting at the back of the field in 19th place. But I'll tell you what, first race of the season, 19 drivers showing up for this one. That means then if you get to the checkered flag, you're scoring points. It's as simple as that, James.
It is as simple as that, and every driver here has not got to retire out on track. Just in comparison to the first sector, Recon's on a lap currently, 27.3 compared to Medium Pilot's 27.2. He's a 10th off already coming through the first sector, but you know what they say about Bahrain, don't discount the lap out just yet. Recon is coming through turn 10. He manages it very nicely this time, and he's on a very good lap, I think, so far.
Yeah, Quicksilver also on a flying lap as well. This looks like it could be a high 24, which gives him a chance of 5th place to get himself further up the table, managing to try and negotiate through turns 14 and 15. DRS now wide open as he heads his way towards the line as a 24.9, which puts him ahead of Coutinho and up to 5th place.
Yeah, really nice lap there from Quicksilver, and he is the German driver, of course. Nicholas Vecht, by the way, is giving Recon a little bit of a tow down in towards turn 15, and now Recon out of the final corner. He was 103.9 through the middle sector. Don't think he's going to trouble Medium Pilot, and in fact, it's 7. 7 from Recon. How often do you see him that far off the likes of Medium Pilot? But you know what he's like. He is a last lap gas specialist.
He is, and I think there's a little bit of tactics going on there. I don't think that's the tyre he wants to start this race on. Recon 25.2. It's not often you see him 8 tenths off the leader here. Venom comes across the line, but this lap has been invalidated, so he'll have to go again as he makes his way now down towards turn 1. And in fact, he must have got the invalidation in Sector 3 because the track map has stayed red, which in my mind means that this lap won't count either. But he's pushing on like it matters, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, this and next lap invalidated, unfortunately, it seems for them. I think he ran wide coming out to turn 14, right at the top coming through turn 13, in fact, then through 14. So that's where he's probably picked up the invalidation, especially if you run one wheel over the curb. Wesker, I think, has just gone 8th ahead of Recon by 5,000 to the second, 25.2, so nice lap there by Wesker. But Pepetum is also on a lap. Interestingly, I'm seeing now guys on a set of medium compounder tyres, which suggests to me they're going for more of a tyre wear strategy as opposed to the fastest lap, as Pepetum is just invalidated coming out of turn 13.
Yeah, and so easy to do. If you just take a little bit too much curb there, you can run the risk of invalidating your lap time. But he's got 2 racing points hounding him as we make our way towards the line. Neo here is making his way towards the start-finish line. He now pulls out of the way. Bianchi on towards the line. P12 with 1:26.003. He's on the medium tyres though, so expect him to find more time if he decides to put on a set of the soft tyres. Let's have a look. There's a Renault here coming around the final corner. It's Venom, who we think has invalidated his lap time. He must think the same because he's in mode 0 and is making his way back towards the pit lane. Of course, if you're new here to the F1 game, welcome along. Vaki, meanwhile, up to P12, finding 1.3 seconds there to get himself further up the order. So always a difficult one to make your debut, especially as a reserve as well.
M. Short's just coming across the line there, 400ths off his personal best lap time, so 24.6 it remains for now. Medium pilot invalidated through the first sector, 700ths up, and he's invalidated into the middle sector. Lemon, by the way, did go third, 124.8. Look at how tight it is, though, between Lemon, Schiaparelli, Killer Blue, and Quicksilver. Just over 10th of a second, separating 4 drivers. Yeah,
Lemon here, not doing too bad a job on his debut here in TT Masters League. In 3rd place at the moment, 24.8. Killer Blue in 5th place then as he makes his way towards that pit lane speed limit line. We're just waiting for lap times from 4 of the drivers, Neo, Venom, Yarum and Pepetum. Speaking of Yarum, here he comes across the line. There's his lap time, 25.4, which puts him up to P12. Here comes Pepetum towards the line. ERS almost all drained. He goes 14th fastest with that lap time, 25.8 on a set of medium tyres.
Yeah, not bad, and actually Pepetum fastest of the medium runners, so that's a weird line coming through turn 2 and 3. Hope nobody does that in the race. Got this big, but he is fastest of the medium runners, and the German's going to be quite interesting. I think he's just trying to physically get around, cut every corner out on track, get round so he makes the time. There's 4.5 minutes left, so he's got plenty of time.
Yeah, and this is where you start getting to crunch time. This is when drivers will start to think about those new strategies. Meanwhile, Nicholas, he's been doing well so far. P11 at the moment in the Williams, 25.3. Let's just keep an eye on him as he makes his way around turn 12. Brave Amanda and I to be taking that outside curve through turn 11. 2/10 off his best so far. That might be an encouragement to just back out of the lap time. And he runs wide on the exit of 13, and as soon as you do that, you do invalidate your lap time. So he'll stay P11 at this moment in time. We've got a Renault out there in Simp, who is making his way down towards turns 14 and 15. We've also got a Mercedes out there, Yarum, who's not on a flying lap because he's in mode 0 in his ERS, so he's not interested in pushing so far. Vaki, though, has retired from the session. P13 for him so far. He feels that there's nothing more to gain out of that one. Yarum comes back into the pits as we see some drivers emerging from the pit lane to go for their one final run, and Bianchi is going to be the first one out there.
Yeah, in fact, Genio and Lemon are ahead of him out on track. So Lemon, I think, will be the first one to set a lap time. But Bianchi, he has switched now from the mediums to the softs. And it's going to be fascinating to see. Bianchi, I touched him up last season in a couple of races as TTG's next best thing. I wonder if he can prove that right to me tonight. But knowing my predictions, they'll probably go completely pear-shaped.
Well, pear-shaped is still a good shape, James. I've got to be honest with you. Better of shape than my predictions turn out to be. So Bianchi then currently P15 at 26.003 is something he has set on the medium tyres. So he will be looking to get a few more seconds gained on that lap time. We're looking maybe at just over 1 second. We've already seen somebody take out 1.2 seconds with the difference between the medium and the soft tyres. If that's the case, then we could be expecting a high 24 for Bianchi, which would put him right up the order then, up mainly into the top 10. That's where he wants to be, making his way around the final couple of corners now onwards towards 14 and 15. And it's all about making sure you get the right lines here as Lemon there has to move to the right-hand side. He's not interested in a lap right now. In fact, he lets the Racing Point through. So Bianchi then is going to be one of the first to set their final lap time in this session. As we can see there, just riding on board with him, making his way down towards the first corner. 2 minutes to go, 120 seconds left of this qualifying session. You just saw in the background there, one Ferrari passing another on pit lane exit. Well, they both kept it between the white lines of pit exit, so that's completely legal in my mind.
It is completely legal. Bianchi is on a lap. Cagino, by the way, I think invalidated. He got a this and next lap invalidated coming out of the final corner. So unfortunate for him, he is not on a lap. But Bianchi is, and I'm just trying to find him and see what he was up. 3.5 tenths through the first sector for the Racing Point as he now comes pretty much halfway through the lap and he comes now down towards turns 9 and 10. This tricky double left-hander out on track. I cannot explain how difficult this is from commentary. Taste it in real life. I know you guys tuning in will know that. But Bianchi now on the run towards turn 11 and now reaches the 50-metre board. Breaks beautifully into the corner and now comes through. Let's see. I think he's going to be about 8 tenths up coming through this middle sector, to be honest, Bianchi. Oh, it's a second up. 103.6 through the middle sector. Bianchi is absolutely flying here on a lap. It could trouble M Short and Medium Pilot possibly. Now Bianchi comes out the final 2 corners, and now through 14, and then on the kink of 15, now powers to the line. Can he get any more performance out of that Racing Point to the line? He goes second ahead of M Short, a 10th and a half off Medium Pilot. Lemon, though, comes in behind, 24.5.
Yeah, great lap times from them both then as we head towards the closing stages of this qualifying session. Imadi moves up to 11th place, then Cugino crosses the line. He's now on a flying lap, so he's a little bit bucking the trend then. The 2 Ferraris are the same as we just watch out for those standings right now. Yaram makes his way across the line. He's now started his flying lap. You've got a Mercedes making his way towards the line in Medium Pilot.
Brilliant lap from Medium Pilot. He was 2 tenths up coming through that middle sector, 24.1. That's the lap time to beat. M Short has to respond. He's 600 down in the middle sector.
Here we go then, making his way towards the line. This has to be the one then, as he gets a little bit of a lock-up on entry in towards 14. Now making his way towards the start-finish line. Can he gain anything through the third sector? Across the line he gets a bit, but it's still 4th place. So it's second row of the grid then for the former TT Masters League Division 2 driver. One of the Williams is making his way towards the line. It's Recon who moves up into 8th place then with that latest lap time. His teammate in Nicholas is looking to try and improve as well. He's heading towards the line on debut. Can he get any higher than 14th? He can indeed. P9 then from Nicholas out-qualifies his teammate on debut. That's a great start then from the Williams man. We've got Shapalele who's now moved up into 3rd place with that 24.5. Here comes Cugino then around the final corner. Is this going to be enough to move him into the top 10? He's got to find a high 24 to do that, and he finds a mid 24. Goes 3rd fastest, Cugino. Now we're going to have times coming thick and fast. Vesca across the line. He finishes this session at least in P10. We've got a Mercedes coming towards the line in Yaram. Can he improve? No, 5 thousandths of a second off his best time so far. Mr. Sim heading towards the line, 2 tenths faster through sector 3, 3 tenths faster overall. He just about gets into the top 10. Killer Blue, no improvement in position there as we just see a couple of drivers heading towards the line. I believe Lemon is coming into the pit lane. So yeah, I think you're right, James. That is it. So it's going to be Medium Pilot who grabs the first points of the season. 2 points added to his championship defence. He grabs the first pole position of the season, and what a lap time, 4 tenths faster than anybody else.
That is how you make a statement, and that is how you want to try and defend your title in the best possible way. Set a lap time that absolutely demolishes the rest of the field in qualifying. It's a case of best of the rest, to be honest, in behind. 2nd down to 7th, covered by 500ths of a second.
That's mightily close, isn't it? But obviously a lot can happen when we get to the back end of the race. We'll have to see what happens after the 20-odd laps we have here at the Bahrain circuit here tonight. But it is Medium Pilot who's on pole position, and he will absolutely love scoring 2 points to try and continue his title defence going in towards Season 2. He will absolutely love that. having those 2 points next to his name. Going down the rest of the order then, Lemon on debut. He's qualified in second place. Coutinho in third place. Chapalele in fourth. M Short, his first race in the top dog division, in fifth place there. Bianchi in sixth. Neo in seventh with Killer Blue in eighth. Quicksilver as reserve in ninth place with Mr. Simp rounding out the top 10. Vesca in 11th. Nicholas out-qualifying his teammate Recon. They line up 12th and 13th. Amadi in 14th. Yarum 15th. Vaki in 16th. Papetum in 17th. Venom 18th. And Rostro did not set a qualifying lap time. In fact, he didn't get to set a chance at all. He was disqualified from the session, black flagged for reasons that we find out very shortly, I'm sure. But Venom didn't set a lap time, and Papetum set his best lap time on the medium tyres. What could have been then for the AlphaTauri driver?
What could have been, but I think honestly he might have done a quite good strategy because it is a high tyre wearing circuit, and we talk about 5% tyre wear per lap around here, both on the softs and indeed on the mediums. It's about 4% mediums, 5% on the softs, especially if you're already on a worn set of soft compound tyres. It is going to be fascinating. Recon, by the way, down in 13th, free choice of tyre. It's going to be fascinating to see what he can do. He could be, honestly, the biggest gainer tonight.
Yeah, and of course we have Medium Pilot on pole position. And if my maths are correct and my recollection of history is correct, that's more than one position he's had so far this season. In fact, that's going to be his 7th pole position in TT Masters League. Now, bear in mind, 6 of those he got last season out of 11 in the pole position department. He's got 1 added to this season, so that's 7 in his career in TT Masters League so far. And this is our 12th race. So you can see how Medium Pilot is quickly racking up those pole positions. And all those pole positions are 2 points. So just from pole positions alone now, Medium Pilot has gained 24 points in his career. That's wrong, isn't it? Because that would imply it's 12.
14, I think.
Yes, it would be 14. You're absolutely right. So 14 points. I knew my math was wrong. 14 points Medium Pilot has gained just from pole positions alone in TT Masters League, if you count last season as well. But there's your championship leader heading into the race. Medium Pilot on 2 points. Everybody else on 0. So let's see how this one is going to develop. Well, we predicted a 2-stop strategy, but I think, James, we're more inclined to see the 1-stop here.
Yeah, 1-stop certainly coming from the medium and the hard runners. The soft runners probably aiming from around lap 6, I think, onwards will be where the pit stops begin to happen. Medium Pilot, by the way, will focus on him. He had 8 podium finishes in his TTML career. Is he going to make it 9 out of 12, which will be a 75% strike rate off the top of my head as well? And also with Killer Blue. Killer Blue, obviously, in his second season here in TTML, he's had 9 race starts. His first race, of course, was in Australia last season, and it's going to be fascinating, I think, to see what the McLaren can do. He's in 8th position. He's on a set of soft compound tyres. He's got a quick driver, pardon the pun, with Quicksilver in behind him and Neo in front of him. It's going to be fascinating, I think, how these guys are going to get on. But 29 laps await these drivers. Are you ready?
I'm certainly ready. I was born ready, especially with a great lineup like this. 19 drivers take the start. Of course, top 10 have to start on the tyre they set their quickest lap time on in qualifying. So outside of the top 10, you get free choice of Vesca, Nicholas, Imadi, Yarum and Venom opting for the medium tyres. Meanwhile, Recon, Vaki, Papetum and Rostro opting for the hard tyre. So they are definitely going for that 1-stop strategy. Interesting to see how the soft tyre runners will do here tonight. My recollection is that they'll try and make these soft tyres last as long as possible for this first stint and try and make the most out of the 1-stop strategy. Although overtaking here is easier than at other circuits, you still do not want to be caught in a battle because you lose a mountain of time. Lemon here lines up on the front row. Could he cap off his debut with a win? We'll have to wait and see. His teammate Coutinho lines up alongside him in 3rd place, with Chapalele in 4th place. M Short, obviously in Division 2 last season, has a crack at Division 1 this time around and starts in 5th place. We're just waiting for the last of the cars in Venom and Rostro to take their place in 18th and 19th place. But here we are then for a brand new season of TT Masters League. We await the 5 red lights to extinguish to start the new season. It's 5 red lights! We're racing in Sakir. Great start then from Medium Pilot. Great start as well from Coutinho as we make our way now down towards turn 1. It's a heavy braking zone here. Can everybody keep their noses clean? There's Shapalele trying to move down the inside. We got yellow flags there. It's Rostro. He's had trouble off the start already. It has not worked. Meanwhile then, Lemon here has lost out to Shapalele. Shapalele is up to second place. He started from 4th. It's a fantastic start from the Alfa Romeo driver. He has mugged both Red Bulls off the line. Mem Short, meanwhile, stays in 5th place, whilst other drivers around have made their way through. Nicholas is now up to 11th place. Good start from him. Yaron and Imadi now making their way now in towards turn 7. They go side by side, and the Mercedes just about holds on here. You can see Mr. Simp ahead trying to defend, but there is Imadi trying to move up the inside of Yaron. Contact was made, and he has to back out of it. Recon has fallen down the order. He's down to 16th place. He was in 17th, but he's got away past Mr. Venom as Venom tries to squeeze his way through on the inside of turn 10. He was really squeezed there. Made contact with Recon, I believe that was, and Recon once again finds himself falling down the order. No love lost here between these drivers as we make our way through, but Medium Pilot still leads the way as we head our way in towards turn 13. Shapalele, what a start from the Alfa Romeo driver, now finds himself in 2nd place. Lemon in 3rd place with Coutinho in 4th, M Short in 5th, Neo 6th, Killer Blue 7th, Quicksilver in 8th, Bianchi 9th, and Vesca rounds out the top 10.
Really good start. Recon, I was just saying there, has got left side end plate damage, so he unfortunately is going to be making himself into the pit lane. Rostro, by the way, is back underway. He looked like he had wheel issues. Let the graphics glitch commence as we come across the line as well. It is not Coutinho who does lead out on track. I'm just trying to find Medium Pilot. There he is. Medium Pilot does lead Shapalele in 2nd, but Shapalele got a tremendous start. He outcommitted actually going down towards turn 1. The Red Bulls had to give him room, Lemon and Coutinho respectively, and Shapalele is chasing down Medium Pilot. How often do you see this?
Well, here is Venom, meanwhile, trying to move on the outside of Perpetuum in towards turn 4. Can't quite find the gap he wanted there, and that is the AlphaTauri doing well to just defend there as we now make our way in towards turn 6 and 7. Down the hill we'll go towards turn 8, but as you say, Recon just emerging from the pits now, and Rostro again. Something was wrong with his wheel there because he didn't get away from the start. He is still running in this race, but he's a long way back at this moment in time. Fair play to him. He's still in this race. He's still sticking to this race because you never know. A safety car could be on the horizon. Misleading graphic though, because DRS is not enabled at this moment in time. We are still on the 2nd lap of this race. It takes about 3 laps before the timing computer keeps up with itself as we now make our way over the crest, watching Medium Pilot making his way down towards 14 and 15.
I tell you what, Medium Pilot actually ran out of ERS on this lap. I ran half this lap without ERS, and Shapalele is right on the back of him. And do you know what? He could have a go down in towards turn 1. No DRS enabled, but I don't think he'll need it. New fastest lap of the race. This is for the lead. Shapalele to the inside line. Medium Pilot, the defending champ, on the outside line. He has to overbreak himself, Shapalele, but he gets the move done. The Alfa Romeo is through, and he's into the lead of the race. And honestly, this is one of Shapalele's best performances so far in an early stage of a race. Medium Pilot will not give in, but he's not going to go down the inside in towards turn 4. Shapalele through for the lead.
Yeah, great move from Shapalele. Timed that to perfection. Didn't even need DRS, as you quite rightfully said. But of course, Shapalele now moves into the lead of this race. He'll want to keep that momentum up for the rest of this race. Meanwhile, further down the field, I believe Imadi has got ahead of Yaram, if I'm correct. There was a change of position further down the field, as Pepetta, meanwhile, 15th place on those hard tyres, just looking to try and go as long into this race as he possibly can. But there is your race leader in Shapalele, the Alfa Romeo. There's something about the Alfa Romeos in recent times, and Shapalele is the recent beneficiary from that car at this moment in time. Medium Pilot in 2nd place at the moment. Lemon in 3rd with Coutinho in 4th. Not a great start from the Red Bulls. They both were mugged off the line by Shapalele. However, they still run in 3rd and 4th, so not bad at all. M Short then held his ground in 5th place off the start. Neo in 6th, Killer Blue 7th, Quicksilver in 8th. But here is Bianchi, who's right on the tail of the Ferrari of Quicksilver ahead of him. Quicksilver, remember, is a reserve here tonight, so he won't score any constructors points, but he definitely will score some driver points. But he's got some front wing damage out there, has the Ferrari. He pits in from, I believe that was 8th place, and will have to change his front wing and fall all the way down the order. Hard tyres will go on. He'll try and go to the end of the race on those hard tyres. I can't see that happening, but, you know, stranger things have happened here in TT Masters League. as Chapelele still leads the way. Medium Pilot looking to try and close in as best as he possibly can to try and get himself ahead and back into the lead of this race. But I'll tell you what, it's been a fantastic start so far. We've got Rostro actually after that start, after his wheel is not playing ball here tonight, he is back into 17th place. So he's staying with it. He's staying in this race. And to be honest with you, if he gets to the checkered flag, he's scoring some points despite everything that's happened so far today. It's not the debut he wanted in the league, but if he can get some points on the board after all of it, it will make it worth it for sure. Chapelele still leading the way then here in the lights of Bahrain. You can see why I love coming here, can't you? It's just a fantastic spectacle to watch under the floodlights of Sakir, as we now find drivers trying to settle back into their rhythm and back into these strategies. Meanwhile, Mr. Simp then, who obviously started inside the top 10, as the top 10 started on those soft tyres, has fallen behind Veska. Now, he wants to try and get past to make the most out of those soft tyres. He won't want to be held up any longer. Looking at the battle at the front, well, we've got Neo closing in on M Short here, but all of them have DRS going down towards turn 1, as I saw a racing point there emerging on the right-hand side of your screens there. That's Bianchi, who gets a nice, easy move up the inside of Killer Blue.
Yes, Simp diving down the inside as well behind Wesker and trying to get the move done. It's going to be side by side, I think, between both, and Bianchi has got the move done on Killer Blue. But Wesker and Simp. Simp is there side by side with him, running up the hill in towards turn 4. The Renault will have to give way, I think. The Ferrari will have to give way, but Mr. Simp is through and he's up into 9th position. And Nicholas is beginning to catch these two. They're battling quite hard, but Nicholas is coming into things as well. Capital lead 5.5 tenths. Everyone, though, running a bit of a DRS train, it seems. Yeah, it's just that point in the race at the moment where you've just got to keep to your own strategy, keep to your own tyre wear, because that's the best way forward. I have to say as well, Chapelele is doing a fine job right now as he looks to try and get first race win of the season. And what a way to ruffle some feathers here, where we all saw Medium Pilot leading by 0.4 of a second in qualifying. Well, of course, you might have a qualifying setup on the car that might not be suited to the tyre wear you get during the race. Chapelele, though, leads the way from Medium Pilot. Lemon in 3rd, Coutinho in 4th place with M Short in 5th, Neo 6th, Bianchi 7th, Killer Blue in 8th, having made that move, or being passed, sorry, by Bianchi earlier on this lap. Mr. Simp up to 9th place ahead of Veska, and Nicholas at just outside of the top 10. He'll want to get in there and get really stuck into the action at the moment. He wants to, you can see, closing in with that DRS. He's closing in on Veska here. Could there be a possible 3-wide moment? Veska goes to the middle. We've got the Williams. Will he look up the inside? No, he won't. Veska, meanwhile, looks up the inside of Mr. Simp. We've got a perfect view on board with the Williams there. They do make contact. There goes Nicholas, then sweeps around the outside. He could get the run here. The Renault instantly recognises it, tries to defend as hard as he can, up the inside in towards turn 4, and again Nicholas trying to go round the outside. He's not being given much room. He doesn't need much room. There's a little bit of contact between them there as they just clench there. That was almightily close, but there is the Ferrari back through, and Nicholas back down to 11th place after all of that. Oh no, Mr. Simp's around. He's lit up the rear tyres on exit. He has been reset to the track from the wall. Now, whether that was automatic or whether he did that from the menu, the stewards will want to have a look at that one. But anyway, he's fallen all the way down now to 16th place. Oh, he's lost the back end again. Those rear tyres are struggling now. Really struggling. That's the high tyre wear that this track really throws up, and Mr. Simpson unfortunately has been caught up with that. Chapelele has picked up a 3-second time penalty, by the way, and that means Medium Pilot, who is conserving more ERS than the rest of the field. Petem has got the move done on Yaram. That was into turn 12, I think, so a good move there by Yaram further down the field. But Medium Pilot with 95% of ERS at play. Is he going to try and close in on Chapelele down in towards turn 1? The answer is no. Well, Chapelele here has never won in TT Masters League. What a way to get your first win when you finish ahead of Medium Pilot. We still have a long, long way to go, 23 laps to be exact, as Chapelele still leads the way ahead of Medium Pilot. Lemon in 3rd place then, with Coutinho in 4th. Looking further down the field, we've got M Short in 5th, Neo 6th, Bianchi in 7th. Racing Witch doing a good job here tonight so far, as meanwhile Nicholas wants another round with Veska here. Veska 9th place at the moment.
They now make their way in through 5 and through 6 and then through turn 7 here. And obviously those medium tyres, you've got to keep them in check. They'll last a little bit longer than those soft tyres, of course, but you've still got to take care of them in the latter part of this race. Nicholas, though, wants that P9. Just to talk about Shapalele just for a few seconds here, I believe his best results so far in TT Masters League was in, I think that was... Oh, I lost my stat there. Oh, that would have been a nice stat to have, wouldn't it? But in any case, he's got a podium before in TT Masters League, but never a win. So that is where he wants tonight to change. That's where he wants the stats tonight to change, to get that win column from a 0 to a 1. He's going the right way about it right now.
He is going the right way about it right now, but he's got medium pilot, and Shapalele is into the pit lane, in fact, from the lead of the race. Shapalele is in. Lemon looks like he's came in and behind as well. And look, hasn't Lemon got right side end plate damage? As Simper's retired from the session out of turn 13, could be the perfect opportunity, you know. M Short and Kigino, however, are side by side through turn 1. Goodness me, the action is all kicking off. Kigino, 3-second time penalty. M Short now on the inside line. Kigino on the outside line. He's got the DRS as M Short, and M Short is through, and he's into second position now. Out on track, great battle and great resolve. No safety car, no VSC. Mr. Sims' car has been cleared out on track, but I think he lost it coming through turn 13 and was probably off track where he spun as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He did spin up those rear tyres, and unfortunately, he's retired from the menu, so he'll take no further part. But what that means is he'll score no points. If it stays like this, all drivers make it to the checkered flag. He'll be the only driver on 0 points. So it is worth getting to the checkered flag because you'll get points on the board, not only for yourself, but that's one fewer Renault car in the standings to possibly score those points. So maybe his team will want to have a quiet word with him. Just say, get to the checkered flag. 1 point is better than nothing at all, which is what he would have been had he got to the checkered flag in 19th place. Well, Kugino passed by M Short on the previous lap, still within DRS range, but he's got to be careful from the racing point behind him in Neo as we make our way now down the hill. It's almost up and down roller coaster as you make your way down towards 14 and 15. Neo locking up that front right just a little bit as they make their way now on towards the start finish straight. Kugino dives in towards the pit lane then, so that frees up Neo to have a go at M Short. But what that does mean is M Short will now lead this race as he makes his way down towards turn 1. All eyes on the lead cars though. Whereabouts will they rejoin? Well, Medium Pilot currently in the pits then on those hard tyres. Let's have a look then, because yeah, Shapalele coming towards that pit lane exit. He's breezed it, hasn't he? Absolutely breezed it there. And there is Lemon, who is going to rejoin ahead of Medium Pilot. Yes, that's the case. So Lemon gets a position ahead of Medium Pilot. But now they're all on the hard tyres. Shapalele, Lemon and Medium Pilot all going to the end of this race. They've got to be careful now because there'll be a bit less grip than what they had on those soft tyres. But there'll be a more consistent range of grip throughout the race. So they can get used to it, get themselves into that rhythm and just try and get the best performance they can out of those tyres. Armadi, Veska and Nicholas all locked in a battle right now for third place as Nicholas feels the need. He needs to defend going out of turn 10 and in towards turn 11, which he has done. Remember, you're allowed to make one move to defend and one move back to the racing line. That is considered fair racing, so that's exactly what the drivers are going to do. Recon then with a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 18th place and it just wasn't a great start, and of course he got that front wing damage. He's just looking to try and make this race damage limitation, isn't he, James?
He is, unfortunately. In Recon, I did say in P13 he had the opportunity to try and make his way through the field. Unfortunately for him, he was stuck around quite a few cars that were all guns blazing, to be honest, on the first lap of the race, and Recon picked up damage. And it's just damage limitation from he's going to make a 2-stop work. He's on a set of medium compounded tyres. M Short and Neil, by the way, were into the pits. And on another point, Bianchi actually got overcut by Kugino. So Kugino and Bianchi are now going to be side by side, running down towards turn 1. I don't think Westwood and Nicholas are close enough down in towards turn 4, I think, for a move. But Bianchi is now through and is also ahead of M Short, and this is going to be really close coming out of the pits. M Short and Kugino, they make contact, and M Short tries to beat him in the race. There's so much going on, I cannot keep up.
That's the way we want it. That's Bahrain for you. Meanwhile, battle for the lead then. Nicholas does lead the way ahead of Veska and Armadi. They started this race on the medium tyres.
Killer Blue and Neo having a good scrap further down the field for 14th and 15th, but goodness me, they're really going at it on track. There must be about 6 or 7 different battles now.
It has to be, and it's very difficult to keep up, but that's exactly the way we want it. We want battles that are going to try and take all our concentration to focus on here. Vaki, meanwhile, started well down the order in qualifying, started on the hard tyres, now into 6th place at the moment, so we're expecting him to pit somewhere around the halfway mark, possibly, I'm just trying to work out here, probably about lap 16, 17 to go onto a set of medium tyres, but we'll get him to the end of this race. Meanwhile then, Veska right on the tail of Nicholas, but he's lost the back end, he's into the wall, and Veska is out of the Bahrain Grand Prix, lit up the rear tyres, and there was only one place he was going, the inside wall on the exit of turn 15, and that is the end of Veska's night here. Such a huge shame for him, and a safety car has been deployed. Safety car deployed here in Bahrain after Veska's incident at the final corner.
I'll tell you what, Yoram has timed this to absolute perfection. Rostro was also into the pit lane. He picks up a 5-second penalty, but Yoram timed that absolutely beautifully within the safety car. You know what? He might win this now.
Well,
after that.
Well, I have to say that all those drivers that aren't on the hard tyres yet may just see this as a lifeline. They'll be able to get onto the hard tyres, and of course under this safety car it's not quite a free pit stop, but you lose much less time in the pit stop than you normally would. So Nicholas, who's leading the way at the moment, we have of course Lemon and Shapalele out there. They're about 9-10 seconds behind. Let's have a look at the gaps to the leader. 10 seconds Shapalele is behind. The drivers have to keep to a delta until they line up behind the safety car. So the safety car's waiting for them on the run up towards turn 4. No, that's not a Renault scattered in the middle of turn 4 there. That definitely is the safety car. That's caught me out as well. They made the safety car and the Renaults a very similar shade of colour on the icons there. So I don't know why, but they did. Anyway, Shapalele will find himself just over 10 seconds behind. Now, what do the leaders at the moment out on track do? Do they pit in on a set of the hard tyres? That's surely the way to go.
Yeah, I would think respond to the safety car, and yeah, they are. Nicholas is going to come in, D is in, and also Perpetum is in. D just going to watch out for his brakes, and Perpetum especially has got to watch out for his brake. He had to pull to the right-hand side to get that car stopped. Vaki is also in, and Venom, interestingly as well, on the set of mediums, is also in. Everyone else, though, on a relatively fresh set of tyres is in. If I was Bianchi, though, he's on a set of medium compounded tyres. Now, I don't think those tyres are going to get to the end of the race. So Bianchi, I would have took it as a bit of an intuition for Bianchi to come into the pit lane and put on a set of hard tyres just to make sure he gets to the end of the race. Because I don't think 20 laps on that set of mediums is going to be good towards the end of the race.
I'll tell you what, Perpetum, who started well down this order, remember, in this race, he started 17th place. He's currently up in 11th. On the set of medium tyres, so he clearly feels that he can get these tyres to the end of the race. That's 18 laps to the end at this moment in time, and he feels he can get those tyres to the end. Now, of course, the cars will be lighter with fuel, so that means they'll be less aggressive with the tyre wear, but in any case, it's going to be a challenge to get those tyres to the end. Bianchi as well, as you said, James, staying out on the medium tyres. He feels he can get these to the end. It's going to be a huge challenge now he's got to try and live up to. But under the safety car then, it is Shapalele who leads the way from Lemon and medium pilot. Bianchi 4th, Gugino 5th, M Short in 6th place with Killer Blue in 7th, Neo in 8th, Nicholas up in 9th, and I'm a D in 10th place. Perpetum 11th, Yaram 12th, Vaki in 13th, Venom 14th, Recon gets a lifeline. He's in 15th place and back well within the pack now. Quicksilver 16th, and quickly becoming a fan favourite, Rostro is in 17th place.
I think that's all of his teammates commenting in the comment section there, and I've got to be honest, Rostro has been given a lifeline. He was down in the back of the field, had the wheel issues off the start, it seemed, lost about 20 seconds off the start compared to everyone else who went full throttle off the line. And Rostro has been given a lifeline. The safety car, I think, will stay out for another lap at least, so these guys can catch back up, Recon, Quicksilver and Rostro. But just to come back onto that point in terms of the mediums, Perpetum on a fresh set of medium compounded tyres, he is going to try and he will make those to the end of the race, I'm sure. Bianchi, who's on worn compounded tyres on a set of mediums, I don't think they're getting to the end. So I just want to clarify what I was saying earlier on. I don't think Bianchi's tyres will get to the end because they're worn. Under the safety car, he's not going to be picking up as much tyre wear as what you would imagine. But I think the damage has already been done from the first 3 laps at full speed. that he did on that set of tyres. So it's going to be fascinating, and he's just going to watch out because Coutinho nearly went into the back of him there.
Yeah, and it's so easy to pick up a penalty under the safety car. It's so easy to run into the back of the car ahead and give yourself that front wing damage. And, well, we have 17 laps to go here in Bahrain with the safety car coming out just before half race distance. Of course, for that incident on the exit of turn 15, Veska finding the barriers, unfortunately, and giving his race a very sharp and short end. But Shapalele, of course, as we've said before, well, he's been, I should say, on the podium once before in TT Masters League. Only once before. But I have to say, in the short time he's been here at TT Masters League, he has definitely made an impact. I'm just having a look at his stats here. His first race was at the Italian Grand Prix. That was round number 8 out of 11. In round 9 at Russia, he got his first podium. So in the short time he's been with us here at TT Masters League, he has certainly made an impact. A win is yet to come. Could this be his day? What about Lemon as well? Obviously, it's his first race here in TT Masters League Division number 1. Can he mark off his debut with much better than a podium, but a win as well? And of course, the defending champion, Medium Pilot, they're in 3rd place at the moment. Already 2 points to his name to match the number on his car for that pole position that he set earlier on tonight. Can he further extend his gap at the top of the table? He won't do it, though, down in 3rd place, because obviously the leader scores 30 points, 25 points for 2nd, 22 for 3rd. So he's got to get a move on if he wants to get himself up the order. Safety car is in this lap now, and we'll be able to bring you the conclusion of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It is Shapalele trying to slow the pack down. As long as he keeps a consistent pace, this is absolutely fine. He's wanting and waiting. He becomes the lead car. He becomes the pace car as we set our way down towards turns 14 and 15. Safety car, you can see on the mini-map, is just about to enter that pit lane. Of course, Shapalele can go this slowly. It's on the other drivers to make sure they don't bunch up and they don't crash into others. Medium Pilot, 5-second penalty with a collision with Lemon. Then Shapalele around the final corner. It's up to him when he goes. It's up to him to decide. The cars are all waiting behind him. I think he's going to wait until the last possible moment. He goes for it now. Shapalele gets this race back underway. We're back under green flag racing, to which Lemon here has been caught off guard by Medium Pilot. They're running side by side as we make our way now down towards turn 1. We are definitely under green flag racing now, heading in towards turn 4. M Short there trying to launch an attack on Coutinho. In fact, Coutinho's got the upper hand. He now moves up into 5th place. M Short falls down to 6th place, but Medium Pilot is hounding. He's harrying the back of that Red Bull. Then Lemon holds on for dear life there as we got a spinner. We got sector 1. It's going to be Rostro, who is in trouble once again. That is so unfortunate. Quicksilver is into the pit lane after that one. He must have made contact under the safety car. Oh, Nicholas! Just so close to making contact with Armadi there. He had to back out of that one big time. And Neo and Perpetuum took full advantage. Neo's actually up to 8th place. Meanwhile, then Perpetuum trying to make a move on Armadi in towards turn 10. Not normally an overtaking opportunity, but try telling that to Perpetuum. Armadi gets a little bit of better traction off of turn 10, and he's able to hold on to that position. Meanwhile, I think that's Nicholas in the background trying to weave his way through. Armadi and Perpetuum going side by side. Perpetuum's got the move done. Up to 9th place he goes. Fantastic move from Perpetuum, and he's finally got that move done.
Venom's went wide as well, and the backman Vaki goes down the inside, but I've just got to commend Venom. He pulled off a two-way move down the inside into turn 10. You didn't pick it up, Kieran. I was on board with it, and it's honestly one of the best moves I think I've seen around Bahrain.
Bit of contact.
I got the replay camera on the back of that.
Oh, a bit of contact between Venom and Vaki there going in towards the final corner. Both of them run wide there, but here comes Vaki once again now down the inside, heading in towards turn 1. They are going to run side by side. You got Vaki on the right-hand side of your screen, and now it's Venom on the left-hand side. Through turn 1 and through turn 2 they go. They give each other the room there as we make our way through turn 3. All this contact between them there. Just about getting away with it, the both of them, as we now make our way up the hill towards turn 4. And the Haas tries to launch a move down the inside there. Vaki wants this position away from Venom. Now heading in towards turn 5. Turn 6 now we go through, and Venom just about holds on. Vaki has to back out of it.
Yeah, really good stuff. And Perpetum, all sorts of carnage happening for 7th position. Killblue, I think, got contacted by Perpetum. Neo now is on the back of these two as well. I think Perpetum might have just darted down the inside, broke a little bit too late. Killblue might have just turned from the outside line into the inner. Vaki and Venom are still going at it. And now he's forcing Recon all the way across track. And this is not great behaviour at all from Venom. I do not have a clue what he's doing. And Recon responds and puts him in the wall. That is an absolute terrible piece of driving. Chapelelli has also spun from the lead of the race.
Yeah, he's spun around now on the exit of turn number 11 from the lead. A virtual safety car, though, has been deployed, and I think Chapelelli will be hugely frustrated with that one. Whether he dropped it on his own or whether there was contact, I'm not entirely sure. However, Lemon now leads the way. Medium Pilot in 2nd place. Of course, Medium Pilot has to serve a 5-second penalty for that one, for that collision under the safety car. So we'll have to wait and see what the result of that one is. But Lemon leading on debut here. Well, could he cap off this debut with a win? We're about to find out as we head towards the last 14 laps of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Bianchi as well, don't rule him out. This gives him a chance to save those medium tyres as much as possible. We're back under green flag racing. Short, sharp virtual safety car to clear up the debris there and to clear up the monstrosity we just saw. Bianchi now has a chance to try and get past Medium Pilot. Now, how well can he keep those medium tyres in check? That's going to be the big question. Yara, meanwhile, in 10th place as he now makes his way in through now as we head through turn 6 and 7. Down the hill we go towards turn 8. Not quite close enough to get a move on Imad there, but eventually he's on the he's on the hard tyres. He's on 1 lap older harder tyres than Imad, but he looks like he's got the pace on him. But I think Imad is a little bit held up by Neo here. He'll want to try and find a way through. Speaking of being held up, well, Medium Pilot here is being hounded by Bianchi. And look at that gap between Lemon and Medium Pilot. It's just over 1 second. The DRS detection point is coming up very, very shortly. If Medium Pilot's not within that, he leaves himself very vulnerable to Gugino Bianchi down the start-finish straight. Here we go then towards turns 14 and 15. I think Medium Pilot here realises he could be a bit vulnerable. You could see he wasn't as quick in towards the entrance of 14 there. That's him trying to save up that ERS battery. He knows he's vulnerable here. He's got no DRS. Here comes Bianchi then moving out of the slipstream and into 2nd place there just before turn 1, and Bianchi now up into 2nd place on those medium tyres. How far can he go? Pepetta meanwhile gets the move done on Killer Blue, and the AlphaTauri now moves up to 6th place, and Pepetta, who didn't have the greatest qualifying in the world, now finds himself on the brink of a really, really good result. Bianchi holding off for a Medium Pilot up in towards turn 4, and with 13 laps to go, James, just how far can Bianchi go? He's gone purple through sector 1.
Yeah, it comes to show how much I know about the medium compounded tyres around this track, first of all, because he just made that look pretty easy on Medium Pilot. Perpetum as well on Killer Blue. Both medium runners are beginning to gain into contention, and Bianchi can carry this, I think, for a good few more laps, until those tyres really begin to wear off, where he really begins to feel the blistering of the tyres, and that is what he's got to watch out for. Medium Pilot is saving up enough ERS. He has got 20% more than the leader, 20% more than the guy in 2nd. So Medium Pilot, I think, is thinking about a longer term strategy rather than the shorter term. Gugino is also possibly just out of DRS, 1.1 seconds off the back of Medium Pilot as well.
Yeah, Barkey, meanwhile, on the back of Yaram, he's on the medium tyres, is the Haas driver as we now make our way over that crest and towards turns 14 and 15, looking for a move for 10th place, but he's not going to find it now. He might try and find it an easier time to launch a move down in towards turn 1, as we see now going down the start-finish straight. Yaram with that DRS, it's not enough to defend from the Haas there. He does his best to try and defend, but it's not going to be enough. Vaki here will have the inside line going in towards turn 1, and the Haas driver, has he got this move done? Yaram tries to stick it around the outside. He'll be on the inside for turn 2. You can just about see him on the left-hand side there. Oh, but the Mercedes has lost it. Across the track he comes, and just about missed there by Chapelelli there. I think Chapelelli will be counting his lucky stars there that he didn't make contact with that Mercedes. But yeah, Yaram, just a little bit too much speed there. And he spun up the rear tyres and unfortunately spun himself around, but not too much harm. He's only just fallen down to 12th place. Plenty of time in this race to recover all of those positions. In fact, we have 12 laps to go, 11 and a bit if you're picky, and on debut, Lemon leads the way from Bianchi and Medium Pilot.
Yeah, really coming into contention though. Coginio has gained massively because these guys are running in dirty air. Coginio, M Short, Perpetum are now within this lead battle. So we could have a six-way. Yes, you heard me right, a six-way for the win here tonight in Bahrain. Killer Blue, Neo, Imad, don't discount them either. There's the yellow flag in Sector 2 and Chapelelli has retired from the race. He's actually crashed coming through turn 12 and a VSC is being deployed.
Yeah, that looked a bit awkward there out of turn 11, but I think what's happened is the curb on the outside of 11, if you catch it there, you just spin up those rear tyres and your next destination is to the wall. So unfortunately, Chapelelli from the lead of this race, spinning out very early on after the first virtual safety car, finds himself out of the race, and so unfortunate. What a promising race it was going to be for Chapelelli, and unfortunately he will go no further in this race. 11 laps to go. We're under the virtual safety car for the second time. It's our third full course yellow of this race. Lemon leads the way from Bianchi, but you can see their medium pilot in the distance looking to try and take advantage. Very quick, short and sharp. VSC, we're back under green flag racing just as quick as we were back under full course yellow. Twitch Lemon still leads the way from Bianchi and medium pilot Coginio in fourth place with M Short in fifth. Perpetum has just kept his head down and he finds himself in sixth place. Recon retires in the pit lane. He will take no further part in this race. That's going to promote Rostro, who's quickly become a huge fan favourite, up to 14th place. I mean, the amount of support he's received this race is fantastic. Disqualified from qualifying for the wheel issues. He didn't actually leave the starting grid until the drivers were halfway around the circuit. Such were the concerns and problems with the wheel he was having. He's now in 14th place and trying to close in on Nicholas ahead of him on 2 lap older medium tyres.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, to be honest, in terms of Rostro, his misfortunes at the start is everyone's misfortunes further down the race, because he's just beginning to pick up places and pick up extra points because of people needlessly retiring from the race. Bianchi now is going to hound the back of Lemon, and this is going to be the easiest overtake he may see all night. You can see what's coming. Bianchi is through, and he's into the lead of the race. Telepathy used there to get the overtake done. Bianchi's through and he's into the lead, and Neo as well, having a good battle with Killer Blue down the inside in towards turn 1, and Neo is through. Oh, and Imad catches the back of Killer Blue on the curb. Goodness me, that was close to contact for Neo through, and he's up into 7th, and it's good to see the two League of Europe boys going at it.
Well, absolutely. Bianchi now has his turn at leading the way. He's on those medium tyres with 10 laps to go. We raised the concerns whether he could get those tyres to the end. Well, he's done the hard part, which is overtaking those on those worn tyres and not take too much life out of them. Now, he's got to try and get to the end of this race, when at some point the hard tyres will be the favourable delta coming towards tyre performance. So, has he done the hard part? We've got a Mercedes off. That's Yaram off at turn 7. Just on the entry and the approach to turn 8, so that will have been the curb on the outside of 7. Again, if you dip a wheel onto that one and are too heavy with the loud pedal, you can find yourself spun around. So Yaram then gets back up to speed, rejoins where he left the circuit in 11th place. But Lemon will not take that lying down. He'll want to try and find that move once again past Bianchi in the racing point. But can he find it down at the start-finish straight, I wonder?
I think he might, you know. He's 3.5 tenths off. This was Bianchi's closing time on Lemon last lap around, and Lemon is just going to have him. He's going to squeeze Bianchi now in front of him. I'm terrible with my puns, I know, but Lemon is through and he's into the lead of the race. Medium pilot, by the way, is conserving all of that ERS. He's nearly got a full ERS range that he can use at any time to his disposal. And as seeing these two fight, I think it's going to fill him with a lot of confidence. But Lemon is through. He squeezed the Lemon and he's through into the lead, and I'm terrible.
Yeah, Lemon leading the way then with those 10 laps to go. Sorry, 9 laps to go in this race. It's 8 and a bit if you're picky. Both of these drivers, Lemon and Bianchi, could be on a chance to try and get the race win. Yaram now retires. There's valuable points here from teams and drivers being needlessly thrown away at this point in time, which means Nicholas and Rostro, they get another position up and more points for them and their teams. So, Lemon, could he grab his first win? Bianchi, could he grab his? Or there's, of course, the age-old question, can Medium Pilot assert his dominance in this championship? I think this race has kind of made him realise, I think it's kind of made us all realise that maybe this time around he will not have everything his own way in terms of pace. It is a new calendar. None of the races last season occur this season. It is a completely different playing field at this moment in time. So if you're going to try and beat Medium Pilot, it needs to be now. Pepetta, meanwhile, who was a championship favourite, runner-up, I believe, in the championship last season, has had a fantastic recovery drive at this moment in time. His tyres are 4 laps younger than Bianchi's, so he's got no issues with tyre wear, and he's got no issues with getting a move on M Short then, down the start-finish straight. This will be for 5th place. Can he get the drag then that he needs down towards turn 1? Yes, he can, and he's got the move done. Perpetum up to 5th place with 8 laps to go. How far can he go up the order?
He's going to be flying, I think. Coginio as well, having a better run out than Medium Pilot just ahead. He's not going to be close enough, obviously, down in towards turn 4. Very close, though, to the back end of the brakes. But Medium Pilot is through, and now he's disposed of M Short. That's going to fill him up with a lot of confidence. And Medium Pilot has been a Drive of the Day candidate, if I've ever seen one, because he's absolutely flying. A purple first sector out on track. But now comes the question, can he set a purple middle and a purple final sector to try and get past these guys? Quicksilver, by the way, is into the pit lane. And Nicholas and Rostro, I think, are going to have a good battle as well. They're in 12th and 13th. Rostro catching Nicholas on older tyres, and Rostro quickly becoming the everyone else's fans' favourite. Is going to go for the move down the inside and towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? This is from 11th position, Rostro, and he has. He's got the move done. The AlphaTauri is through. Another point gained, and he's up into 11th.
Yeah, but he's now going to hold off from Nicholas as we make our way up the hill towards turn 4. Will Nicholas try and move down the inside? No, he won't. So that means Rostro then holds on to 11th place. Quicksilver into the pit lane. He's on a set of soft tyres. He's clearly going to try and go for the fastest lap of the race bonus point and maybe try and get back up to where he was in 11th place to get to that well-earned 1 point extra for fastest lap of this race. Lemon leads the way then with 7 to go. Bianchi in 2nd place, Medium Pilot in 3rd with Coginio there in 4th place, Perpetum 5th, M Short in 6th, Neo 7th, Killer Blue 8th, Imadi and Vaki in the Haas's rounds off 9th and 10th place. Rostro in 11th place, Nicholas in 12th, and Quicksilver, the last of the runners there, in 13th place. In this race, we've lost Yaram, who retired in the pit lane. Recon retired in the pit lane. Chapalele crashed out on track. Venom, I believe, crashed out on track as well. So too did Veska, and Mr. Sib retired in the pit lane as well. So half of those retirements were not crashes out of this race. So there's valuable points lost there for half of our retirees.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, but it comes to show. I think the lesson will be learned from those 6, I think. They have to continue no matter what. Even if you're picking up the scraps, it could still be that difference between you winning the championship and you finishing 2nd in the championship. It can literally come down to 1 or 2 points. Vaki, by the way, is on the back of Imadi. Nicholas as well on the back of Rostro. I think he's going to get the move done, but Vaki is through on his teammate and he's through. And he's up into 9th position. And Nicholas right on the back of Rostro. These are the 2 only battles really happening out on track. As now Nicholas is going to launch one down the inside and towards turn 4. That's late on the brakes from the Williams, but he gets the move done. Absolutely beautiful from Nicholas. He's through and he's up into 11th position. Just to speak about as well, Bianchi's tyres, they're beginning to hit the delta points, I think. You're going to see the transition from the hards onto the medium, so don't really expect Medium Pilot to gain on Bianchi, certainly over the next 2 or 3 laps, I think.
Well, Perpetum here is looking to try and get a move down the inside. He wants his 4th win in TT Masters League Division number 1, and he's right on the back of Bianchi here as we make our way up the hill then towards turn number 4. Coginio, I believe, is looking for his first race win as well. So 4 out of the 5. In fact, if you go down to 6th place again, M Short, no wins in TT Masters League. Neo, no wins in TT Masters League. Killer Blue, no wins in TT Masters League. So you're talking about a huge amount of drivers within the top 10 haven't got a race win to their name. Medium Pilot has 3 wins to his name so far, could be 4 at the end of this race, but we will have to wait and see. And we'll have to wait and see if he can. No, that's sorry. I'm reading. I'm reading Perpetum's 3 wins there. That's where I'm getting lost in that one. But I believe the other driver that I look for is Medium Pilot. He's on 5 wins. My apologies. So this win could take him up to win number 6, but he's got to get past 2 cars in Bianchi and Lemon. Don't forget as well that Medium Pilot has 5 seconds worth of time penalties to be added to the end of his race. So that is something he's got to be mindful of as he goes for these moves and goes for this late charge. Bianchi right ahead of him. We're thinking that these medium tyres are getting past their sell-by date. In fact, Bianchi is into the pits then. So Bianchi from second place in the pits, maybe concerns about tyre wear, and maybe he can't make them to the end.
I was just going to say, actually, he had blistering on the front right tyre, so that is why he's into the pit lane. Onto a set of soft he goes. He's going to be well out in clear air. Fastest lap attempt is now on for Bianchi. But so unfortunate, I did say he wouldn't get to the tyre, wouldn't get those tyres to the end of the race, and look who's right for once.
Yeah, I think that's more of a precaution rather than a strategic mindset there for Bianchi. So unfortunate for him. He's fallen down the order, but he could try and redeem something with a fastest lap of the race bonus point. That leaves Lemon still in the lead. Then Medium Pilot sets his focus, resets his focus once again. This could be win number 6, but he's got everything against him with that 5-second penalty looming over his head. Coutinho as well in 3rd place could try for a race win. There is Papetum, who's now in 4th place. And if he wins the race, that would be win number 4 in his career in TT Masters League. Rostro and Nicholas, I mean, get the popcorn out, get your deck chair out, because the battle between those two is really hotting up. Rostro back in front of Nicholas. Nicholas has got a good run out of turn 3, opens up that DRS. Will he try another lunge down in towards turn 4? He moves for it, tries to go for it down the inside, and these two still leave each other the room there, but they've also got Quicksilver behind them. Nicholas round the outside in towards 5 and 6. Now he'll have the outside in towards turn 7. Can he get that move done? Yes, he can. Nicholas then moves up into 11th place. Rostro down to 12th. And look at Quicksilver here on those soft tyres looking for a move past. And I think, there you go. Rostro just dives out of the way. He does not want to hold up that Ferrari. I think as well, going in towards 9 and 10, side by side, you could see there that the Ferrari was going to do that. And yeah, you can see there Nicholas and Rostro not really interested in battling with Quicksilver. Their battle is not with the Ferrari. Their battle is between themselves for what is now going to be 12th place.
I'll tell you what, Lemon is under a lot of pressure out in front just to cut in the Kieran, but Medium Pilot is really pressurising Lemon. He is forcing him now into mistakes, and Medium Pilot, I think, has got the answer to every card out on track. But remember, that 5-second penalty is going to be key.
In fact, we'll have to look at the penalties to see if we've missed any at all, as Lemon still leads the way with 3.5 laps to go here at Sakir. Lemon leads the way. It could be a first race win on the cards on debut here in TT Masters League, as James has some interesting news to give to us.
They're nullified, the leaders. Lemon has got a 5-second time penalty on lap 13. Medium Pilot on lap 13, 5-second time penalty as well. So the two leaders are nullified. Coutinho has got 3 seconds, so he's technically 2 seconds ahead of the guys out in front. Papetum has got 3 seconds. M Short has got nothing. 1 warning is all he's got. Neo, 1 warning.
Oh, here comes Medium Pilot. Sorry to cut across you, James. Here comes Medium Pilot now looking down the inside in towards turn 1 for the lead of this race. He grabs the inside line. Can he grab the apex as well? Well, Lemon's going to be on the inside for turn 2 here. Can he hold on as he goes through turn 3? There's contact between them. Lemon is off at turn 3. There was contact between them there. Side pod to wheel there. And unfortunately, Lemon finds himself off into the gravel. Manages to recover back out on track. But he's now all the way down to 9th place. Medium Pilot takes the lead. Coutinho now runs in 2nd place. And Coutinho, well, he wanted that battle to go on for much longer than it did. He might find himself starting to fall behind Medium Pilot, but how about Papetum now? That's going to put him up to 3rd place after the qualifying he had. That is sensational. We got yellow flags in Sector 1, but there's no one located there. That's a bit of an odd one to throw out there. But anyway, they've cleared up whatever was the problem. And looking at the positions there, Papetum 14 places up on where he qualified. What a race he's had.
Really good race so far for Papetum, and he's not really in the driving seat because M Short currently is going to be winning this one out on track with Papetum's 3-second time penalty. Just to run you through the rest of the field as well, I think we were up to Killer Blue at that time. And by the way, I'll just clarify what I was saying. I mentioned the word brilliance, and then I saw the contact in the background, so that's the most unfortunate thing I could ever say. Neo has got 1 warning.
Coutinho looking for a move now. It's his turn to try for a race lead. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle. There it goes then. Coutinho moves now into the lead of this race. And that could be a critical move for the Red Bull. Now moving into the lead of this race. Meanwhile, Neo gets a move done on Killer Blue. He moves up a position to 5th place. Can Medium Pilot find any sort of response? No, he can't, as we make our way now in towards turn 4. But Petum obviously has that penalty looming over his head. M Short, well, as long as he keeps behind this lot here, he could win on debut. Again, yellow flags in Sector 1. I think that's to cover a car in the pit lane at this moment in time. That's going to be Lemon in the pits. But at the moment, he is still in this race. He's onto a set of soft tyres to go for this fastest lap of the race. We haven't got long to go. Coutinho runs deep in towards turn 10 there, but he'll get the better traction, better drive off the line. However, Medium Pilot has the DRS. If you've made your popcorn, now's your time to eat it, because Coutinho trying to hang on to this race lead. This could be his first race win of the season. It could be his first race win in TT Masters League. Medium Pilot, it could be his 6th win. Perpetum, it could be his 4th. M Short, it could be his debut win from TT Masters League Division 2, competing in his last race. He gets a call up to the big time, and now he could be in with a shot of winning this race. It is all to play for on this final lap here of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It is Coutinho who leads it out on track, feels the need to defend very early on to try and break the slipstream from the Mercedes here. The Mercedes actually catching him. Will Medium Pilot try and do a dummy down to the inside? That's exactly what he does then. Down in towards turn 1, but he's run too deep. He left his braking too late. He's lost all that time. Coutinho now still in the lead of this race. Perpetum, one more position gain for him. He's now up to 2nd place. Medium Pilot with that high-risk strategy, that high-risk move, it hasn't paid off, and he falls now down to 3rd place. M Short in 4th place.
Killer Blue trying to go around the outside of Neo in behind as well. He tried to go for the move, not quite. The German still remains in 5th position for now, and Killer Blue is all over the back. That yellow flag in Sector 1, I think, is due to a bug, but Coutinho hanging on for grim life. Perpetum actually contacted coming across on Medium Pilot due to where Medium Pilot went off track, and Perpetum, I thought he had right to plate damage to Medium Pilot, but he doesn't.
Well, Coutinho here now making his way onwards towards turn 11 with that mistake from Medium Pilot. There's a little bit of pressure relieved here, but watch those timing sheets as they all make their way across the line. This is still not going to be decided out on track. Now it is Coutinho who makes his way through turn 13 on towards the run towards turn 14. Perpetum right in his rear view mirrors. Medium Pilot doing the same to Perpetum, and M Short lurking in the background here. Here we go then, round the final couple of corners through 14 and through 15. It's going to be Coutinho who gets the win out on track. Coutinho crosses the line in Bahrain first, and he doesn't keep it. It's M Short who wins on debut. Last race he competed in was the division lower, but this here, in his first race in the top division, grabs his first race win. What a sensational drive, and that proves to you that penalties are everything. M Short wins the race. Coutinho finishes in 2nd place. Perpetum, no mistake from him. He gets up to 3rd place. No doubt he'll win driver of the day. Neo finishes in 4th place. Killer Blue in 5th. Championship is seriously in doubt now after that performance from Medium Pilot. He now drops to 6th place defending this championship. Vaki is in 7th place. Not bad for the reserve driver in the Haas. Bianchi in 8th place. Armadi in 9th. Twitch Lemon from leading this race down to 10th place with that contact. Quicksilver then heading towards the line. He crosses the line in 11th place. Fan favourite in Rostro is going to finish ahead of Nicholas here as they head towards the line. At least out on track he is. And no, Rostro is he crosses the line, but didn't take the checkered flag.
That's a new glitch.
Well, I'll tell you what, he has taken the checkered flag because he's crossed the line, but yeah, he's not been picked up. Maybe his transponder died on that last lap, but I'll tell you what emotion must be going through this man's head. M Short, how about your first race in the top division of TT Masters League and then go and win it? What a drive from M Short.
Brilliant, and I said in qualifying he might be one of the guys to watch out on track. That is why. And penalties really favours the brave. And M Short from 4th when he came across the line took it. I was watching the interval timings and I was thinking to myself, he's not going to do it, but he did by a second in the end. I was thinking he had 2 seconds advantage, not 3 seconds over the advantage of Coutinho. So that is why I was getting a bit more on tenterhooks. Rostro, by the way, is still driving around out on track. It's unfortunate that we have got a bit of a glitch. But M Short, very proud, I think. Coginio second, Papetin in third position. Shall we try and get the guys in?
Well, I tell you what, the parties now on PlayStation 4 have been ruined beyond belief, but if you can get them in, what a chance it would be to have a chat with them. But M Short, his first race in Division 1, how about that? His first race win in the top division, no doubt about it. Papetum winning that Driver of the Day, awarded by the in-game fans after coming from 17th on the grid to finish on the podium in third place. And why not take a photo? He's earned it. What a race from M Short. He takes his first TT Masters League Division 1 win in his first attempt.
Fantastic result. Fantastic result. And we watched him in Division 2. I commentated on last season in Division 2. He's a title contender, and he's proved it there.
Well, tune in. Get the popcorn for the remaining 10 races, because anything could happen here in the division now. But we'll have your official, unofficial results for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It is M Short who takes his first race win of his career here in TT Masters League Division 1. Coginio in second place. Papetum from 17th on the grid finishes in third place. What a drive there from the German. Neo in fourth with Killer Blue in fifth. Medium Pilot, pole position, but down in sixth place. He'll fall down the order after that result. Varkey, 16th to 7th. Not a bad race at all from the Haas. In fact, both the Haas is doing well in this one. Bianchi in 8th place. Armadi from 14th place, finishing in 9th. What a race it could have been for Lemon. He finishes in 10th place overall, but does get the fastest lap of the race. That will be a bonus point added to his overall result. Quicksilver in 11th with Rostro, fan favourite, in 12th, and Nicholas classified as 13th place. So Rostro is classified as 12th, even though we had a little bit of a moment there at the end. Non-finishers, Yaram, Recon, Shapalele, Venom, Veska and Mr. Sim, all non-point scorers here tonight at the Bahrain Grand Prix. But James, that wasn't a bad race to kick us off for the season.
That was a great race to kick us off on the season, and honestly, if we get more races like that during the season, this could go down in TTML history as being one of the best that I think I could certainly recall in my lifetime, and I'm sure Kieran can be the same as well. I have added the guys to the group, and we should be getting them in for interviews very shortly indeed.
Yes, hopefully so. And just to have a word with you, James, about this race in particular. We had about 4 or 5 different race leaders at some point in this race. We had 3 full course yellow scenarios. We had the 1 full safety car, the 2 virtual safety cars. Just how much did that shift up the race?
It shifted up the race a lot. I think with those VSCs, the second one in particular was quite a telling factor within the race. It brought out, I think, with that content as well under the safety car, Medium Pilot unfortunately picking up that 5-second penalty was unwarranted, I think. It might get removed if you can appeal it, but you know what? M Short deserves it, and I believe he is with us in the chat now.
He is indeed. M Short, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Well, I have to say, first race in the top division of TT Masters League, and you only go and win it. Your first thoughts about your first victory?
Yeah, I don't know quite how I've done it, but yeah, I've got like no words for it basically.
Just talk us through that race, because for a long time there, you were sort of 5th and 4th in that race. What was your initial reaction crossing that line, knowing you'd won the race? Did you know drivers ahead had time penalties?
Yeah, I think I knew Coginio had a penalty from when I was behind him, and Perpetum had one, but I didn't know that Medium Pilot had the 5 seconds. So yeah, I was expecting like a second or something, then come across the line and it's first.
Yeah, it was that long wait, wasn't it, when you crossed the line to have it confirmed. And well, what that means now is that unofficially, as my maths are correct, which they've proven not to be in the past, you go into the Chinese Grand Prix as the championship leader. Did you expect that coming into tonight?
Not at all, with the drivers that are in here, like Medium Pilot getting pole by 4/10 something. Yeah, it's really unexpected.
Yeah, and unexpected for sure, but you've got the Chinese Grand Prix coming up next. Can you carry this momentum forward into the next couple of races?
Well, hopefully, yeah, but I'm not too sure what the pace is like around China. I don't think I've even driven it on this game, but hopefully I'll just pick up some good points there and carry on, maybe stay in the lead of the championship if it goes my way. And
of course, the typical question we have to ask, after this race win, does that have any impact on your championship target for the season?
Possibly. I think going for like the top spots is a bit of a stretch, but if I can get top 5, I'd be very happy.
Top 5. Well, we'll be looking on for your season with great intent here and great intrigue. But congratulations on the victory there. Fully deserved. M Short there, your race winner for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in China.
Thank you.
And next up, we have second place in the race, which was Coutinho. Coutinho, are you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Well, you're very, very quiet there. I wonder if you can turn up your mic on your end, and we'll have a nice long chat with you about that race. But yeah, going into... That's much better. Yes, that's much better. So coming into this race then, we had about 4 or 5 different race leaders here. You crossed the line first, but penalties set you back. Your initial reaction after that race?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, congrats to M Short. Fantastic race. I mean, I was battling him from like for the entire first stint, I was going to say. It was a good race. I mean, at qualifying, I didn't even know if I was going to get a lap in. Put me P3 in the end. I was lucky. And then I just tried to keep it together in the race. I think I got that warning, that 3-sec pen, when I was battling M Short, like lap 8 or lap 9, I can't remember. I don't know, I don't think I can get removed, but yeah, no, I'm speechless. It was so much action. It was a good race. It was an entertaining race.
Yeah, and of course now with that podium behind you, China up next. What's your feelings? How are you feeling going into the second round?
Yeah, I'm still very young on my no line adventure, no assists. So hoping to improve track by track, week by week, and hopefully, I mean, I did pretty well in Bahrain and China in AOR F2, so I'm hoping I can repeat matters in TTML next week.
Yeah, and in your 7th attempt, you finally got yourself a podium. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I missed my podium. I really did. No line is a tough adventure, I'll tell you that, but I'll get there in the end. Hopefully, I'll get even faster and faster. But yeah.
Yeah, braver than me going on no line for sure. And the classic question I have to ask is, with this second place, does this have any impact on your championship targets?
Oh yeah, I'm going for it.
Ooh.
Title, everything.
Them's fighting words to me. I'll do something I didn't actually do with M Short there, is hand over to James to see if he needs any questions or has any questions.
Arguably, I think the transition from Season 1 to Season 2 has been nothing short of an absolute miracle, I think, because we saw you last season being around the mid-pack, really fighting for those races. Coming in here in Bahrain in second position, what has changed in your demeanour, in your mentality to finish and to score so highly? I wasn't expecting it, certainly.
You and me both, James. You and me both. I don't know, just more commitment to the cause, I guess. Just trying to get my apex is like pinned down more and more. Just trying to improve, and I guess that's the result of my constant practice. Shout out TTGaming, by the way. Hope you're proud.
I'm sure he will be. But Coutinho, we'll let you go now and enjoy your podium, your first podium in TT Masters League. Go off and have that champagne or equivalent soft drink.
Will do. Thank you, guys, and cheers for commentating.
Oh, no problem at all. We've got third place driver in the lobby. Then I assume is going to be Perpetum. Perpetum, can you hear us?
He's not here.
Oh, he's not here. Oh, that's a shame. That's a huge shame. Well, we did want to ask him about his podium, another podium added to his championship standings. But then, if Perpetum's not here, then I'll propose this question to you, James. Does this change your championship expectations for the season?
Not at all, if I've got to be honest. I knew coming into the race it was going to be quite competitive. We've seen how competitive it is after race 1. China in race 2 is going to be fascinating. It's a whole different track, still a very high tyre wear circuit, so these guys have got to stay really focused, I think, to the cause. And M Short, if you haven't driven it now, is the best time to do and drive that track, because honestly, we didn't do it in League of Europe, so it's going to be fascinating to see how he gets on. But I'll ask him actually, if you don't mind me going off script, that is.
Not my script, no.
Is he still here, first of all?
Yeah, man.
He's here. Was the family watching?
Yeah, they were.
Good.
As far as they weren't in the comments.
You can probably just imagine the feeling when he comes across the line, the family downstairs just screaming, absolutely screaming at the telly. Absolutely fantastic, but that is it.
That is it, and hopefully you've enjoyed this Bahrain Grand Prix. Next time we'll be live, will be next week actually, at the Chinese Grand Prix. Don't forget as well, the other tiers of TT Masters League will be out on your screens very, very shortly. And also don't forget, on tomorrow night, we have the brand new TT Masters League Sprint Series, 2 25% races in the night. That's going to be headed by Aidan Carter and Luke Etheridge in the commentary box tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in for a brand new season and a brand new championship heading to your screens. But that'll do it from us. If you want to follow us on Twitter, myself, Kieran McGinley, and James Head's Twitters are down below. Don't forget as well, a huge shout out to Tom Zaggers in the background with those graphics. They look awesome as always, and with those replays, he's got them working again. It is fantastic to see that as well. So a huge shout out to him. His Twitter is down below if you want to go and follow him for all your needs. But from us, from myself, from James, and from Tom in the background, thank you very much for watching this Bahrain Grand Prix. We'll see you at the Chinese Grand Prix. Until then, I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.